What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our Big 12 football channel. In the Big 12, here are our top 7 teams, our new projections for each team. We still have Oklahoma winning this division in the regular season at 11-1. In the preseason, we had them at 11-1, so no change there. I think they still lose to someone. Maybe it's Texas, maybe it's Oklahoma State. I think there's a loss somewhere there for the Sooners, but I think they will march right to the Big 12 championship game. We got Texas at number 2 at 9-3. No change there. I picked them to lose to LSU in the preseason, and I still think that they're probably going to lose a couple of games in the Big 12. And we haven't done this yet for the Big 12, so that's why you see last week there is nothing. But moving forward, we will put our last week's projections in that category. Iowa State, 7-5. I actually had them at 9-3 in the preseason. I picked them to beat Iowa. They did not win that game. I'm going to give them another additional loss compared to where I had them in the preseason. So I think this is a 7-5 team, maybe 8-4. We'll see. But I think they will miss out on the Big 12 championship. I still think that's going to be Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma State, 8-4. That's where we had them in the preseason. No change there. Baylor, 8-4. That's where we had them in the preseason as well. Haven't really seen them play anyone yet, so hard to really say how good this Baylor team is going to be this year. That could change after a couple more games. They might drop. They might go up. Again, we will see about the Baylor Bears very soon. TCU, I had them at 7-5 in the preseason. We've dropped them down one game to 6-6. Obviously didn't predict them to lose to SMU. That's the difference. That's really the only difference. Everything else has played out like I expected for TCU, and I still expect it to play out the same. Kansas State has been a bit of a surprise. I had them going just 5-7. Did not expect them to beat Mississippi State, but they did. Now we have Kansas State going 7-5. I still think they're 4-5 in the conference. I don't think they're one of the top 5 teams. We'll see. Again, they've looked good so far, but outside of Mississippi State, haven't really been tested. And now that they get into conference play, we will see how good this team actually does. West Virginia at number 8. I have them going 5-7 now. We had them at 6-6 in the preseason, so I've dropped them down a game. Not necessarily because I think any less of West Virginia. It's just that it seems like Kansas State have done better than I thought they would. And so maybe Kansas State stole a win for West Virginia. Maybe that's what changed there. Still have a chance to get to a bowl game, I think, but it's going to be tough. The Big 12 is going to be competitive. Yeah, they can play with pretty much anyone in this conference, but they could also lose to pretty much anyone in this conference. They do have a win over Kansas already. That's good news. But that game was close, and that may be their easiest game in the Big 12 this season. Texas Tech is at number 9. I have this team at 5-7. That's where I had them in the preseason. No real change there. Kansas we bumped them up one game from 2-10 to 3-9. The win over Boston College, the difference for the Jayhawks. All right, so I've got Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12 championship game. No surprise here. That's what I had in the preseason. Really, there's been nothing in the Big 12 that's made me think that this is going to go any different direction. I feel pretty confident that it will be Oklahoma versus Texas. I think they're separated from everyone else in this conference, so I have this being that matchup that everyone expected. I think these two teams will play twice. Whoever plays in the Big 12 championship game obviously will play twice because everyone plays everyone. I love how they schedule their games. But anyways, you got Oklahoma and Texas. I do think Oklahoma will win the regular season matchup, but I think that maybe Texas gets some revenge. And if you saw our playoff prediction video over on the main channel, you'll notice I had Oklahoma left off. I had them out of the playoffs where I had them originally in the playoffs in the preseason, but I think it's because Texas takes them down in the Big 12 championship. I'm going to go with the Longhorns to get some revenge. So again, Oklahoma beats Texas in the regular season, but then Texas turns around and beats them in the Big 12 championship game. It's the opposite of what happened last year, and it's going to be a crazy game. Both games are going to be very high scoring, exciting games to watch, just like they were last year. It's the same story. It's not like these teams are that much different. Yes, I know Oklahoma has Jalen Hurts instead of Kyler Murray, but Jalen Hurts is getting it done all the same. So that's going to be the matchup, I think, and I'm going to go with Texas to knock off Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. Now, how about the odds to get to the Big 12 championship game? We're going to take a look at this, and I think, again, it's Oklahoma and Texas. I'm giving them both a 75% chance to get there. I feel very confident that it's going to be that matchup, but if someone else were to make a run, I think Iowa State still would be that team. I know they struggled a little bit early in the season, but I like the way their schedule sets up. and I think that they are the next most likely team to get there at 25%. I've got Oklahoma State at 15%. The big thing for them is going to be getting Oklahoma at home in the last game of the season. If Texas does beat Oklahoma and then Oklahoma State gives them their second loss, maybe the Cowboys could get there. And then everyone else we're going to say has a 10% chance. And how about the odds to actually win the Big 12 championship game? We've got Oklahoma and Texas at 45%. Both teams, I think, are right there close to 50%. I mean, they're most likely going to be in that game, so obviously you're going to have the percentages go that way as far as who's going to win the Big 12. So 45% for Oklahoma and Texas, and then I'll say everyone else 10%. So everyone else combined is going to be about 10%. Not really. There's no point in really separating those teams because, again, more than likely they're not going to even be in the championship game anyways. But it's Oklahoma and Texas. You know, you got conferences you just really feel confident in. Like in the ACC, you know it's going to be Clemson most likely winning that. In the Big 12, you know it's going to be Oklahoma or Texas. Some conferences are a little bit tougher to figure out, but I think the Big 12 is pretty easy to figure out. It's going to be Oklahoma or Texas. They're going to play twice. I think whoever loses the regular season matchup will turn around and win in the Big 12 championship game. I don't see either team sweeping the two games this year, but I could be wrong. You guys can give me your thoughts on the Big 12 down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports Big 12 Football Channel.